The greatest illusion that traps us is the belief that we are isolated beings, separate from the world, when in truth we are woven into the very fabric of existence, connected to everything around us in ways far deeper than we realize. When you stop chasing an identity that the world forces on you and begin to feel life as a living, breathing dance, you discover a freedom that has always been inside you, waiting for you to step out of fear and into your true nature. The moment you understand that life is not a problem to be solved but an experience to be lived, you stop resisting, you stop doubting, and you begin to move with the flow of your own potential, unlocking a power that transforms the way you see yourself and the world. There comes a moment in every life when you stop and ask, who am I really? Not the name given to you, not the role society expects from you, not the mask you learned to wear. But the real you. The one behind your thoughts, behind your fears, behind the constant noise of the world. Alan Watts called it, the myth of myself, because the greatest myth we ever believe is that we are separate, small individuals struggling alone in a world too big and too chaotic. But what if that idea is just a story? What if the self you think you are is a tiny fragment of something far greater? You see, you are not a stranger in this universe. You belong here. The same energy that moves the oceans, that paints the skies, that brings life into every corner of the world, that same force breathes within you. You are not an observer of life, you are life expressing itself in human form. But somewhere along the way, you were taught to be afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of not being enough. And slowly, you lost touch with the miracle of simply being alive. You started to shrink yourself to fit into expectations, to follow rules that were never yours, to believe stories that made you forget your own power. The real you, the you beneath the myth, is limitless. And once you understand this, something incredible happens. You stop fighting against life. You stop forcing everything. You stop pretending. Instead, you begin to move with a flow that feels natural, honest, and alive. This is where confidence is born, not from trying to be something, but from realizing you already are everything you need to be. Alan Watts said that you are not a puppet of fate, you are the universe playing a role. And when you wake up to this truth, you walk differently. You speak differently. You stop apologizing for your existence and start embracing where you are, who you are, and where you're going. So let me tell you this clearly. You are not the myth you've been taught to believe. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are not your limitations. You are a force of nature. The moment you stop seeing yourself as separate from life is the moment you become unstoppable. Because now, every challenge becomes a teacher, every setback becomes a redirection, every struggle becomes a step toward awakening your deeper strength. This is the truth you must carry. The myth of myself dissolves the very second you recognize that you are connected, powerful, and capable of shaping the life you dream of. Wake up to who you truly are. The world has been waiting for the real you. The greatest illusion that traps us is the belief that we are isolated beings, separate from the world, when in truth we are woven into the very fabric of existence, connected to everything around us in ways far deeper than we realize. When you wake up each morning, it's easy to slip into the idea that you are just one person among billions, a small figure moving through a vast and indifferent universe. But this feeling of separation is not the truth, it is a misunderstanding, a habit of thought shaped by fear, comparison, and the belief that you must face life alone. Look closely at your own experience and you'll see that every breath you take is shared with the trees, every movement you make is supported by the earth beneath you, and every emotion you feel is part of the same human story lived by countless others. Nothing you are experiencing has ever been yours alone. Your struggles have been felt by millions. Your dreams have been dreamed by others long before you. Your courage, even when it feels small, echoes through the people around you in ways you cannot even imagine. The moment you begin to understand that you are not a fragment but a full expression of life itself, everything shifts. You stop shrinking yourself. You stop believing that you must carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You start to feel the silent support of existence, like a current lifting you instead of pushing you down. You begin to see that every connection, every encounter, every moment of kindness or inspiration is evidence that you belong here, that you are part of something infinitely larger than the fears that try to limit you. When you embrace this truth, life stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a partnership, a dance you were always meant to take part in. When you stop chasing an identity that the world forces on you and begin to feel life as a living, breathing dance, you discover a freedom that has always been inside you, waiting for you to step out of fear and into your true nature. So much of our suffering comes from trying to fit into shapes that were never meant for us, expectations from society, pressure from family, comparisons with others, the constant need to prove something. All of this creates a prison that slowly distances you from who you really are. But the moment you stop trying to perform for the world, something powerful happens. You start to hear your own rhythm again. You begin to act from authenticity rather than fear. You start choosing what feels aligned with your soul instead of what looks good from the outside. Life becomes lighter, more fluid, more honest. You realize that you don't need to force your way forward, you simply need to flow with the natural direction your inner wisdom is pulling you toward. In that flow, confidence grows without effort, creativity wakes up, and a deeper sense of peace takes over. And for the first time, you feel like you are finally living as the person you were meant to be. In the end, the greatest awakening you will ever experience is realizing that you were never small, never powerless, never disconnected from the force that moves all of life. The world may have convinced you to shrink, to doubt, to hide behind a version of yourself that felt safe, but that version was only a shadow. Now you know the truth, you are part of something vast, intelligent, and alive, and that power flows through you every single moment. This is your reminder to stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect confidence, the perfect circumstances. Life is happening now, and it's calling you to step forward with courage. The universe is not against you, it's working with you, shaping you, preparing you, and guiding you toward your highest potential. Every fear you overcome, every step you take, every moment you choose authenticity over doubt brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. You are not the myth you inherited, you are the truth discovering itself. So rise. Trust yourself. Walk boldly into the life you envision. Because the world doesn't need another imitation. It needs the real you, fully awake and unapologetically alive.